All right, you have got to hear about this. Imagine a huge social experiment, right? One designed to answer a question we've all probably wondered about. What if you could take every single age, from 1 all the way to 100, and pit them against each other in a series of crazy challenges, just to find out which age is really the best?
So that's the big question, isn't it? What is our prime? This whole experiment was set up to find an answer, at least when it comes to physical competition. The real question is, how in the world did they even pull something like this off?
Well, for starters, the scale of this thing was just incredible. They got 100 different people, with each person representing a single age. So you had a 1-year-old, a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old, you get the picture. This wasn't some small study. It was literally the human timeline, live and in person, ready to compete.
And yeah, the range, it was something else. I mean, we're talking about a 1-year-old who's probably just figured out walking, competing in the same event as a 100-year-old. The sheer logistics are just mind-boggling. And what was on the line? $250,000. That is some serious, life-changing money. And you know what that means? Every single contestant, no matter their age, was going to give it everything they had. The pressure was on from the very beginning.
Okay, so the stage is set. This isn't just another game show, you know? It's really framed as a quest for an answer. By pushing 100 people to their absolute limits, the idea was to see which age would rise above all the rest.
And to find that winner, they weren't just going to run a simple race. Oh no. They put these contestants through a whole gauntlet of challenges, each one designed to test something different: strength, strategy, you name it. So let's break down how this whole thing went down.
So, here's what they were up against. It all kicked off with a test of pure speed in a foot race. Then it shifted to team strategy with dodgeball. After that, a mix of skills in a dunk tank relay and a penalty shootout, all leading up to a final brutal test of pure endurance. And you better believe each stage was designed to knock more and more people out.
And they were not messing around. The very first race cut the field in half. Just like that, 50 people were gone. And right away, a pattern started to show. The folks between 21 and 30 years old were just dominating. Which, kind of makes sense. That's often when reaction time and muscle mass are at their peak.
Now for the second game, things got tactical. The 50 people left were split into teams based on their age. You had the really young kids, the prime age group, the middle-aged folks, and the seniors. All of a sudden, it became a game of alliances and rivalries.
But just when you thought you knew where this was going, the experiment threw everyone a major curveball. The outcome of that dodgeball game was something nobody saw coming, and it completely changed the entire competition.
And here it is. In a pretty stunning turn, every single contestant over the age of 40 was knocked out. Gone. After just 2 challenges, more than half of the human age spectrum was completely wiped from the board. It was fast, and it was absolutely brutal.
And yeah, this quote from one of the contestants just says it all. The younger teams made a strategic move to target the older players, and they showed zero mercy. It was a cold reminder that with $250,000 on the line, your age could make you a target.
So as the competition rolled on to the dunk tank relay and the penalty shootout, it wasn't just about being the strongest anymore. Now it was about strategy and teamwork. And with fewer people left, every elimination started to feel a lot more personal and way more emotional.
In this moment, this really shows you the human side of it all. When the 8-year-old team captain was eliminated, it was genuinely heartbreaking. I mean, she made it so far, leading a team and outlasting dozens of adults. The stakes just felt so incredibly real.
And then there was this. When the 17-year-old got knocked out in the penalty shootout, the 7-year-old, who had become his friend, walked right over to comfort him. It was just this amazing moment of sportsmanship that went way beyond the prize money. It really showed you the unexpected bonds these people were forming. So, after all the chaos, the teamwork, and the heartbreak, the competition was down to the wire. That huge field of 100 contestants was about to be whittled down to the final 2, and it was setting the stage for an unbelievable finish.
So in the endurance challenge, where they had to hold a percentage of their own body weight for as long as possible, the 7-year-old says this incredible line. It just perfectly framed this epic David versus Goliath story. One little kid against 3 grown men, all fighting for a spot in the finale.
And you're not going to believe it, but he made it. The final showdown came down to these two. On one side, you have the ultimate underdog, this 7-year-old, who just defied all the odds. And on the other, the 28-year-old, the guy who, on paper, is right in the middle of his absolute physical prime.
So this was it. 100 contestants had started. 98 had been sent home. And it all came down to a 7-year-old versus a 28-year-old in one last game of skill and luck. Who was going to win the $250,000 and finally be crowned the prime age?
Right before that final game, the 28-year-old shared why he was there. His wife was literally graduating that day, and he was doing all of this to help pay off her student loans. It just added this powerful emotional weight to his story, showing you what was really at stake for him.
The final game was all about chance and a little bit of skill. They had to make a shot to earn the right to open one of 10 briefcases. 9 were empty, but one held all the money. After a few nail-biting rounds, the 28-year-old took his shot and he picked the right case. He won.
And just like that, the experiment had its answer. Based on the specific series of athletic challenges, age 28 came out on top. He had the right mix of strength, experience, and motivation to survive all 6 rounds and beat out 99 other people.
But look, while 28 was the official winner, let's be real, the true story of this whole thing was the 7-year-old. His journey was just unbelievable. His amazing power-to-weight ratio and his pure grit let him outlast people 4 times his size. He was, without a doubt, the heart of the entire competition.
So this experiment gave us one answer for our physical prime. But what it really showed us is that things like grit, strategy, and just pure heart can come from any age. It really makes you wonder, beyond just athletics, what actually is the true prime of life?